Hello students. Today we are going to see this new chapter, network cabling. Okay. So nowadays we can see that this wireless technology is getting improved, but in so many institution only, uh, so many institution that are using the older technique, which is network cable process. Okay. So connecting the computers and servers with the cables is a reliable one. Okay. So why we are still we are not moving on from this cabling process? Okay. So most of the computers in the in a company would be a older computer. Okay. So it will be having a default wired hardware. When you want to move on to a new wireless technology, then a piece of hardware must be installed in every computer. It takes a cost inefficient way. Okay. So most of the computers are now using this cabling method for communication. But so if you want to get into a network field, then you must know what is cabling and how many types of cables are there. So everything must be understood. Okay. So what are all the ports and what are all the process in creating cabling schemes, everything we have to know. So in this chapter we are going to study about the network cabling. Okay. So first of all, we already know what is network. Network is a communication between computers, either by wired medium or wireless medium. So in this chapter, we are going to read only wired medium. So all the www network works with this wired technology. So even a continent to continent connection is done by wires only. Okay, so not by satellite. Satellite is as a disadvantages of climatic changes and position of Earth. So everything is plays a vital role in effective communication using satellite. But wide communication means they'll be deploying a fiber optic cable from one country to another country or through a network. Okay. So here you can see that there are uh, different types of network cables. First one is coaxial cables. So example for this coaxial cable is your cable TV connection. Okay, so cable TV comes under this coaxial cable. So in one axis itself there will be a cable, and then you can see insulation for that, and even you can see the earthing wire or housing wire of the cable. Okay. So you can see that this is the coaxial cable connection for television sets. Okay. So it provides a reliable communication in 1880s, and 10 megabits per second can be transmitted over there. So it is shortly known as coax cable. So for every 50 feet, okay, for every 50 feet, you have to give a boosting bridge. Okay. So you can see that after 50 feet, the current will get depleted due to some losses. Okay. So so the signal will not go directly without any losses. To avoid these losses, they will be providing a media bridge or an adapter to boost up the signal. So next is twisted pair cable. So this is twisted pair cable. You can see that eight cables is twisted to form a twisted pair cables. So this is known as UTP cables or STPs. UTPs unshielded twisted pair. STP means shielded twisted pair. So shielded means it will have a protected layer to avoid shocks and electromagnetic interference. But unshielded means it will not have any uh, protective coating over it. Okay, so shielded will be used outside the company, where it is buried underground, or where it is where it is laid over the head or over the top of a building. So there they'll be using this shielded twisted pair. Inside the company or inside a closed environment, they'll be using this unshielded twisted pair cables. Okay, next is fiber optics cable. So the last two cables, which is coaxial and twisted pair, has copper wiring inside it, but this fiber optics have a glass strand of glass inside this cable. So light impulse is used to transmit data, but whereas in the other two cables, like twisted pair and coaxial, current or electric current is used to transmit data. Okay, so this fiber optics can transmit in a more efficient and faster way, since light travels faster in a glass medium. And here you can see that uh, light can travel more distance. Okay, so it doesn't need any boosting element in between every 1 kilometer or 2 kilometers. Just it needs a light pulse or a laser light can be used to uh, implement it. Okay, and it is also very cheap, and reinstalling this fiber optics is also very efficient. Okay, since you can see that fiber optics has a very less strength, but it can be easily replaced without any difficulties. Okay, so in case of coaxial or twisted pair cables, electricity is involved, so you have to first to switch on the electricity, and you have to plug out uh, all the electric power supply, and then only you have to replace it. But here it uses light signals, so that you can just switch off the device and you can just replace it. Okay, so it's a very easy one, and it is a very efficient one, and it transmit data at a very fast rate. You can see that it transmit data around uh, yes, here it is not provided here, but it provides around 1 gigabits per second. Okay, so it can transmit a very large data in a very short duration of time. So next cable is USB cable. So this is a universal serial bus. Most of the hardwares which are now produced have this USB ports. It is very easy to plug any hardware device into your computer, and it provides a very special way of which is known as plug and play. Okay, no need to install any in olden days, before invention of this USB, a technical person has to be coming to your computer to add a hardware or software. But now you can see that USB, after invention of this USB, just the person or the user of the computer itself can plug any hardware into the computer without any technical support. Okay, just giving the port inside the computer. Okay, without any assistance here. So next is serial port. So this is used in olden days, which is in 1980s to 1990s. It can be used as a serial port or parallel port. Here you can see that it sends only one bit at a time. Okay, so the cable will be looking like this. So this is serial port. The smaller one is the serial port, and the larger one is the parallel port. So RS-232 is the standard which is used here in this cabling system. Okay, so next is the Ethernet cable. Ethernet cable is normally the twisted pair cable, but it would have the jack in it. Okay, RJ45 jack in it. So this part is known as RJ45 jack. It would be connected to the computer to switch to the server. Everything can be done by using this Ethernet cable. So Ethernet cable components. Next is this Ethernet cable components. So this Ethernet cable components have the patch cable, which is twisted pair cable, RJ45 connector, Ethernet port, and crimping tool. Okay. So if you are implementing a network in a company, then you should know all these things. Okay. So where the system is placed, where the switch is placed, where the router is placed, and where the server is located. Every computer must be connected to the computer server. Every computer must be connected to the switch. Everything will be should be known. Okay. So patch cable is the cable where it will be available in rolls of cables. Okay. So a roll of patch cable will be around 50 meters, 50 to 100 meters. It is available in different ways. Okay. So you can just remove the packing and you can install any length of cable from one end to another end. Okay. So after you just laid it out, the cable is laid in the required position, then the jack work starts here. Okay, so you have to remove this sleeve, which is known as insulation. So and then you have to cut it. Okay, you have to cut it like this, and you have to insert. This is the RJ45 connector. You have to insert all the cable here inside this, and then you have to crimp it using crimping tool. So this is the mm, so this is the wiring scheme which is used here. So it is given in a detailed way. So mostly you will be using this B type. So T50 56A 568B is the model which we use in standard. Okay. So for from the pin 1, okay, white, orange, green, white, green, blue. So this alone will be changing. So blue will come first, and white, blue, and then green. Okay. In between in between white, green, and green, they will exchange this blue and white, blue. So this will be used in most common wiring cable. So this 8 pairs will have this color code to differentiate each cable, and mostly Ethernet will have this only 4 pins to be used. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, and 6 is the cable that are used in every Ethernet port. All other 4, 5, 7, and 8 are the spare cables. Okay, so if 1, 2, 3, and 6 are failed, then 4, 8, sorry, 4, 5, 7, 8 will be used. Okay, so this is a very easy one. Most of the camera, okay, CCTV camera uses uh, this type of cabling methods, and it is a very easy one to manage it. Okay, so this is the female pin and this is the male pin. Okay, so this male pin will be inserted in the female port, so that you will make a connection of it. Okay, so like this. So this cable, Ethernet cable, with the port, okay, RJ45 twisted pair cable, RJ45 connector, and Ethernet port. Okay. Mhm. And there are some piece of hardware which is installed. If it is an older computer, then you have to buy this PCI Ethernet port and add it to it. But nowadays you can see that motherboards are uh, built-in Ethernet card, so you no need to buy anything and replace it. Okay. So this is the crimping tool which is used to crimp the RJ45 connector to the Ethernet cable or twisted pair cable. First of all, you have to remove the sleeve, and then you have to arrange the color code with this, and then you have to insert this RJ45 port in it, and then you have to use this crimping tool to crimp all the section of cable with this port. Okay. So types of jacks, eight wire jacks, 2 wire jacks. So 8 wire jacks is used to connect computers two wire jacks. RJ11 is used to connect phones, intercom phones, or anything like that. RJ14 has only 6 pins, and so there are so many ways in connecting cables. Okay, so there are color codes in it. So there are three types: straight through wires, cross wire, crossover wire, rollover. Okay, straight through means one end will have the same straight through. Okay, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 will have white, orange, orange, green, white, green, blue, white, blue, green, white, brown, and brown. So the same pattern will be used there itself. So this is straight through. Crossover means you can see that this pattern will be used. So it will be crisscrossed to change the wiring. And rollover means you can see that the exact opposite of it. Okay, so first pin will be given to the 8 pin. So this is rollover wiring. Okay, so with this we are finishing the chapter today. Mm, we'll see the new chapter in the next class. Thank you, students.